Hi everyone, my name is Ja, and I'm 100% Chinese. I was born and raised in Shanghai. I came to Connecticut and stayed in Connecticut for about 7.5 years. Um, I'm currently a junior at UConn.
Hi, I'm Common. I'm a senior at UConn. I am 100% Chinese and I was born in Hong Kong, but I moved to the US when I was about 2.5 years old. So I've been in Connecticut for a while now.
Hey, I'm Jing Qiu Liao. I'm from mainland China and currently I'm studying in the University of Hong Kong. I'm currently on exchange study in Yukon and I have been here for almost 4 months.
Hi, I'm Erin. I'm a senior finance major. I'm from China, and I've been here for 4 years.
Hi, my name is Brooke Sackwitz. I'm from Southington, Connecticut, and I'm a senior here at UConn.
So my name is Winsland. I am a sophomore here at UConn, and I'm a computer science major.
I'm Jessica. I'm a senior speech, language, and hearing science major.
I prefer American accent a lot more than Chinese accent, just because it's a lot easier for me to understand. Because when I came here, I did not know any English. Maybe I start off with the alphabet, but speaking or listening wise, I just didn't have any kind of background in English at all. So when I came here in middle school, my ESL teacher basically just taught me everything from scratch. So she's white, of course. She has like perfect accent, so that's what I'm used to, and that's what I learned for 7 years.
Sometimes it's still hard for me to understand people with strong accents, no matter what. My dad has a Chinese accent when speaking English, but because I've lived with him my whole life, of course I understand him. But interacting with professors or TAs who have very strong accents, I still have trouble understanding them. But I feel like because I have more of a common ground knowing Chinese and English, it's a little more easier for me to understand the professors or whoever or people in general who have accents better than other people. So
When I met Chinese professor here in America, which is a completely new environment for me, I think it is very good for me because I feel like I have some more in common with these professors or teaching assistants. And I really think accent is not a big deal because anyway, English is just a tool for communication, and as long as I can communicate very effectively with the professor or the TA, then everything is fine.
It's not advantage, but it's also not disadvantage. Until I had a European, a teacher from a professor comes from European, and I found it's so hard for me to understand him in class. So I think maybe the Chinese accent would be an advantage for me.
I haven't had too much experience with Chinese accented English, but I have had one professor and one TA in the past. Going into the class, I guess I was at a bit of a disadvantage because they had thick Chinese accents, but it really was a neutral experience. I thought it was actually a bit humorous. My TA, instead of saying Husky CT, she'd always say Husky City, and it was really cute and funny.
In general, I'm kind of used to it just because like my parents have a accent, so it's kind of like I grew up around it. So I mean, I don't really think anything of it. Yeah, because I'm kind of used to it.
Yeah, like you kind of just grow up. Like my parents when they came here, they didn't really speak much English, and so they kind of just picked up words here and there, and so it's kind of sometimes funny, just like hear them talking in like broken English sometimes.
be a very derogatory term to some people, especially if you were called a fob by someone you absolutely did not know and they just judged you, like basically judging a book by its cover. And it's just not a very nice term.
If someone say apply that term to me, I wouldn't take it as a very very, like a compliment. I wouldn't say that because I've been here for about 7 years, and if people still calling me fob, and obviously it's probably something I'm doing wrong, or just they think I'm I don't understand what the culture is, or what I just don't fit in the group or something.
I think those terms, including FOB and ABC, they're a way for local people to show their authority and power. And this is a way to kind of draw a line between themselves and those newcomers. And the second point is that the meaning of those terms depend very much on the context that you use them. For example, if you use ABC in Hong Kong or mainland China, that it carries a very positive meaning. But here in the U.S., ABC means doesn't have that kind of positive meaning.
It is a little offensive just because like my parents came over here from like Vietnam and stuff, so it's kind of like it's a little offensive to hear just because they work so hard. A lot of people, they make these stereotypes about like fobs because they say like they're like weird, but because my parents are from a different country, it is a little offensive.
Yeah, same with my parents. Like they immigrated here from Vietnam, and like I think fob can be used as it could be used as a derogatory term sometimes.
I've had limited experience with the term fob, but the times I have heard it, it's mostly been used for talking about the Asian population, and I guess sometimes Middle Eastern, which I find interesting because people coming from other areas, like I know Australian exchange students, people from England, and it's never been used for them, so I guess that's interesting. And I never really heard ABC before, but I guess that seems more factual than fob because it's kind of just stating who they are.
Well, the definition of ABC would be American Born Chinese, and to me, I think they're just basically like a banana, like yellow on the outside, white on the inside, is pretty much all whitewashed, and pretty much just like grew up, born, raised in here, used to the Caucasian life, and they could have no idea what like any of the Asian culture is.
For the terms ABC, I think is by definition is not really a bad or negative words.
Like to me personally, I think it shows that my parents came here to, give me a better chance to like what they didn't have for the childhood. So I think being American born like Chinese or just like child is like it's okay with me. Like I don't find it like negative or anything like that.
Sometimes like I could find it offensive just because a lot of people use it as like, oh yeah, you're Chinese but you're so Americanized, so it's kind of like the opposite. It's like I know one of the things we had talked about in class before is the fact that like, oh, we see someone as fobby, but then the international kids see us as ABC because they say like we're not really Chinese. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of both sides of it.
From my years at UConn, it seems like everyone likes to put a label on other people. And because of the labeling comes the stereotype, whether you're in a fraternity, sorority, or even an international student. Most offensive is when they say my success is due to the stereotype of being smart because I am Asian. And I find that offensive because that's not a fact to me. I'm just very dedicated to my work and I spend a lot of time on it, which is why I feel helps in how I succeed in school.
What you see a lot is just if you see, I don't know, like people walking around, you see this Asian kid, you might just assume, oh, he's good at math, oh, he knows Kung Fu.
So I think there are a lot of stereotypes in our daily life. For example, there's a stereotype that Asian girls are very cute and they don't have very strong personalities. However, the fact is everyone is just different. Another example is that in a lot of US TV dramas, Asians will be running restaurants. For example, in two broke girls. There's a Korean guy running a restaurant. I think every stereotype has its own cultural root. However, the media should be more responsible and think harder before they spread those stereotypes.
People always think that we are good at math, like or other chemistry or those kind of courses, but actually we are not. I mean, not all of us good at math or those courses. And the other is people may think we're not good at sports.
There's like the whole model minority myth and like, oh, women are supposed to be more submissive in Asia and like men are supposed to be more dominant, but then like they're also seen as submissive in the American culture because they're like quieter. But like other than that, like, oh, we're good at math, we're bad at driving, yeah, like that kind of stuff.
I think the stereotypes toward the Asian community are very prominent in the media. For example, in films and shows, they typically hold jobs in like nail salons or laundromats, and also their accents are very exaggerated. Like the character of Leslie Chow in The Hangover, his accent's like extremely exaggerated to provide more humor and to make him into a more like ridiculous, funny character, like in this clip.
Right after you suck on these little Chinese nuts.
We're all just human beings. It's like, it's more like how the culture shape you as a person. It's not like you shouldn't stereotype someone just because their outlook or just how they're, usually portrayed.